Hey guys! Today we're going to be taking a look at the Brevity Roamer II, which is a really solid tech and camera backpack. And a while back we took a look at the original Roamer, which is a very good bag. I really enjoyed testing that one out, so I was excited to see that Brevity had come out with an updated version that seemed to address all the issues that I had with the original. And I've been testing this out for the past couple of weeks, and so far it's been a great experience. The bag has been very comfortable to wear. It has a lightweight and solid build quality, plenty of weather resistance, and I really like all the organizational options that it has, particularly for camera gear that you need to carry with you. So I'm really excited to share it with you guys, and I want to thank the company for sending the bag for me to test out. And with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Starting off with the outside of the bag, I really like the overall aesthetic. The look here hasn't changed too much from the original Roamer backpack, so it still has a pretty sleek kind of all black exterior, and it also has a little bit more of an outdoorsy or heritage style vibe in my opinion, but I feel like this is a really versatile look that's going to blend in well into a ton of different environments, whether you're taking this into the outdoors or walking around the city. As far as the materials, the bag is made out of a 600D carbonate coated Codra, which feels like it's going to offer a nice amount of weather resistance, and it also feels pretty durable, and it's surprisingly lightweight. One thing about this material is that it is a little bit on the shinier side, so I would have liked to see maybe a more matte option offered here to just give it a little more of a subdued look, but for the most part, I still like this coloring, and I really like the fact that it just feels like water is going to roll off this super easily. And then on top of that, the bag also has some really nice, well-protected zippers all throughout, so it has a little bit of covering here, but then on the compartment that houses the camera gear and the laptop compartment, you see that it also has this sort of AquaGuard style covering to help add some additional peace of mind. One thing that I will note about the zippers, however, is that they don't appear to be YKK, but I have noticed that they've worked very smoothly and they feel like they're going to offer a nice amount of durability. Continuing along the outside, I was happy to see that the bag has an external water bottle pocket, and this seems to offer a nice amount of space. Currently what I have in here is the same insulated water bottle from Wandered that you've seen in a lot of my other daily bag videos, and that fit in there really comfortably, and I really like how elastic this compartment is, so if you happen to have a thicker water bottle or item that you want to store in here, it should give you plenty of flexibility. And then a really nice thing about this compartment is that it also has this compression strap right above, so if you have something taller that you want to store in here, or just some additional accessories that you want to attach for the bag, this really offers a nice amount of flexibility. And then in addition to the compression strap on the side, you also have a few straps on the bottom of the bag that are going to be great for holding something like a tripod or a yoga mat. And then at the top of the bag, you have a new handle here compared to the original Roamer, so I like how this has been improved here. This handle offers a very comfortable carry, it's nice and thick, and it also has this sort of seatbelt-like material that feels like it's going to hold up well, even when the bag is a little bit heavier. And then I really like how easy it is to just kind of reach down and grab this handle due to how much it comes up above the bag. And then jumping into the capacity, according to Brevity's site, the bag comes in at about 21 liters, which is a really great daily bag size in my opinion. I was easily able to fit all the items that I normally like to carry with me, and I was actually impressed with how much this could hold because it doesn't look that big, but even with the camera cube on the inside that we'll take a look at in a little bit, I felt like I still had plenty of space for all the other items that I normally like to have with me. And then I also like that even when the bag was a little bit more packed out, it never really got that big. It still hugged my back pretty closely, making it good for walking around crowded areas or jumping onto public transit. And then continuing on with the straps and the back paneling, so far the bag has been really comfortable to wear. This is an area where it's definitely improved over the original Roamer. I like how the straps have been implemented here. They have a nice amount of padding, and then they also have this sort of gel-like and soft material. I do wish the padding was just ever so slightly thicker considering how heavy this bag can get. And then on the inside, it doesn't have any sort of meshy material to help prevent moisture from building up. But regardless, they still felt really comfortable, and then they also have a nice width to help prevent the bag from digging into your shoulders when it's a little bit more packed out. On top of that, the bag also has a nice adjustable and removable sternum strap to help distribute the weight. And then at the bottom, even though the bag doesn't include any sort of a waist belt, it does have these little loops here, which I believe can be paired with a variety of detachable waist belts that might be great to have if you feel like you're going to be carrying a lot of extra camera gear and you just need that extra bit of support. And then moving into the back paneling, I really like how this has been implemented as well. I love the EVA foam that's been included here, and it also has these sort of ridges that just feel really comfortable on the back. And then this padding is also nicely elevated to create this air channel to help with airflow while you're walking around throughout the day. And then one additional item that's been added here is this little pass-through that's going to be great for picking the bag up or for placing this on your luggage if you're traveling and you want to save some weight on your back. And then jumping into the organizational options, the bag has a lot of great pocketing all throughout. And so starting off on the back paneling, we have a little hidden zippered compartment here that's going to be great for storing anything that's a little bit more sensitive. So I like that this has a zipper garage and a pretty well protected zipper, and that this also sits right up against your back so that it's not going to be visible to pickpockets. So what I currently have in here is just a simple field notes notebook, but this is going to be a great spot to put something like your passport or maybe some extra cash. And then at the top of the bag, you have a very simple but spacious quick access area. So this also has a very well protected zipper here. Opening this up, I really love the amount of space that this offers for anything that I need to grab quickly while I'm moving around throughout the day. And so currently what I have in here is just my Apple AirPods Pro. And then I also have a simple lightning cable to charge my phone and my tablet. And then the last thing that I have in here is my Ray-Ban sunglasses with their case. And even with those items in there, there was still some leftover capacity, no sort of internal organization inside of this area or fleece lining. So again, just a very simple area, but because of the amount of space that it offers, it really just gives you a lot of flexibility with what you can toss in here quickly. Next up on the front, you have a larger kind of admin area that has some nice internal organization. But before jumping into that pocket, the first thing I want to talk about is this buckle on the front that kind of keeps the whole bag closed. This is what provides that top opening access, and this buckle provides a nice amount of adjustability. So if you need to get a little bit of additional capacity from the bag, you can kind of expand it out to allow you to really take full advantage of the size. And then I love the use of this buckle here. It's got this kind of magnetic opening that you can slide open, and then it's also very easy to close. It just latches on very quickly via a magnet, so it's very quick access. And then it's really nice that it's just one buckle as opposed to some bags like the Boundary Supply Prima system, which has the two magnetic buckles, so it can take a little bit longer to open. The one thing that I will note about this buckle is that it does cover the zipper for this next compartment that we're going to be taking a look at, which can be good from a security standpoint. It can actually keep this compartment a little bit more protected, but if you want to be able to get into it quickly, that's a little bit of an inconvenience, as you really do need to undo the buckle to be able to get inside. So with the buckle undone, this has a pretty wide opening zipper. I really like how much this opens up to allow you to take full advantage of the space offered in this compartment. And so, as I mentioned earlier, you have some nice internal organization here. Starting down near the bottom, you have a few slip pockets. So on the right, you have a slightly larger one that's going to be great for holding a little bit more of a bulkier item. So currently what I have in here is my BluePop portable Bluetooth speaker and power bank. And then next to that, you have a few small slots to hold something like a pen or a stylus, which is what I currently have here. And then I just also have a simple nail clipper. And then all the way on the left, you have a slightly smaller slip pocket here. And currently what I stored was a simple deck of cards that I like to carry with me. So a little bit less space than the one on the right, but like the variety of options offered here to keep all your smaller accessories easy to access. And then behind that, you have a larger slip pocket, which I actually didn't really use for anything just because there's so many different compartments throughout the bag, but this might be a great spot to put something like a Kindle. And then behind that, you have another mesh slip pocket. So these are very similarly styled. This one's pretty shallow. Currently what I have in here is a full-size Moleskine Notebook. You could see that it didn't really go that deep, even though I had the notebook on its side, so that should give a good perspective of how much capacity that has, but still a nice amount of space in each of these compartments. Very easy to kind of lay everything out. And then the last thing that you have in here is this longer lanyard that has a plastic clip that's going to be a great spot for attaching something like your keys or a multi-tool. And then before jumping into the main area, one of my favorite changes from the original Roamer is the inclusion of this side access zipper here, which to me is a vital aspect in any camera bag, is the ability to quickly access your camera while you're still wearing it. So I was glad to see this included here. And the zipper is very easy to open and just provide quick access into the camera cube that we'll take a closer look at in a second. It's very easy to just reach in, grab the camera, take some quick shots, and then put it back in. So I really love the inclusion of this here. And then it's also nice that if you don't use the camera cube, I always like having this sort of a compartment to be able to reach the bottom area of the bag when I need to a little bit more quickly. So really nice improvement here. And then on the outside of this side access zipper, you also have this extra mesh kind of elastic compartment. It's a little bit smaller than the water bottle pocket that we saw earlier in the video, but it still offers a nice amount of volume. And so this might be good for holding something like a smaller umbrella or maybe some snacks. Personally, I chose to leave it empty though because I wanted to leave this area a little bit more clear for when I was trying to grab my camera. I just didn't want to have to fumble around with anything that might be in this pocket. And then moving into the main area, I really like that you can access this both from the top and that you can open up the bag flat so that you can easily access the full compartment at the same time. So first we're going to take a look at the top opening. And so earlier we saw the buckle and the adjustability, but opening this up a little bit more, the first thing I'll call out is I really like the use of the elastic on this flap, as I really feel like it provides a nice covering over the main area to help keep water outside. And then the compartment also has this drawstring opening at the top, and this has been improved from the original version. I really feel like you can cinch this down very tightly to keep everything just well protected. And then it's nice that because this has some adjustability, you can open this up and then you get some extra volume near the top if you have a little bit of extra stuff that you need to carry with you. And so opening this compartment up, you can get a feel for kind of the main volume of the bag. It is an all black interior, so it's kind of hard to see some of the items that are in there, not to mention I also have all black accessories, so a tricky combo. So it would have been nice to maybe have a lighter lining on the inside. And a really nice thing about this bag is that even with the camera cube on the inside, I still have this volume at the top that's meant to hold additional accessories or maybe even something like a change of clothes. So you can see it's not super packed. There's still even a little bit of leftover volume if I wanted to toss in a jacket or maybe a lunchbox. And so jumping into what I currently have here, first up, I have my Beats Studio wireless headphones. And then I have a small Maxpedition pouch that has some of my smaller EDC items. And then the last thing that I currently have in here is my Bellroy Classic pouch that has some of my dongles and smaller tech accessories. At the bottom, you have this sort of Velcro divider that you can remove if you want to take the camera cube out and use this as just a regular day bag as opposed to a camera bag. I really love that it offers the flexibility to do so, and we'll actually take a closer look at this in a second when we open up the clamshell side of the bag. And then taking a closer look at the clamshell opening, this is on the back of the bag, and this is really nice because it allows you to get a better view of the inside of the main area. And so the first thing that we'll talk about here is that this is where you access the laptop and tablet sleeves. And so a nice implementation here, the compartments are nicely padded, and so on the back here, you have this nice Velcro strap that kind of helps keep the devices in place. When you open the bag up fully, you can kind of see that my tablet is trying to slide out here. And so removing this Velcro, first up, we'll take a look at the tablet sleeve. And so this offers a nice amount of padding. There's no sort of fleece lining on the inside here, but it has plenty of space. Currently what I have is an iPad mini, but you can definitely fit up to a full-size 10-inch tablet in here really easily. And then on the back of the compartment, you also have a laptop sleeve, and this also has a nice amount of padding. It's a little bit thicker than the tablet sleeve. And then I also like how much this comes up, which makes it good for holding a little bit of a thicker device. And so no sort of fleece lining in this area either. And the compartment itself doesn't appear to be suspended off the bottom of the ground, which would have been a nice addition, but it does have a nice amount of padding in this sleeve, so it still has some protection if you happen to place your bag down a little bit harder. And then pulling my laptop out, now with the compartment empty, you can get a better look at the inside, so plenty of space. This should be able to hold up to a 15 or 16-inch MacBook Pro, and in general, it just feels like my devices are going to be well protected while I'm running around throughout the day. And then moving on to the other side of the bag, first up you have a really simple mesh zippered compartment, which is going to be great for storing some of your smaller kind of tech accessories to keep them close to where the laptop is. And so I really like the amount of volume offered here. You can see the compartment comes up a pretty decent amount, and then it's nice that you can also just see inside so that you know what's in this area. And so jumping in, what I currently have here is just a simple portable hard drive, and then I also have my Apple Magic Mouse. So just some of the smaller tech accessories. This would have also been a great spot to maybe put some cables and chargers. And then I really like that because this has a little bit of volume, it doesn't press up tightly against the laptop compartment, so it's nice to be able to take full advantage without having to worry about any damage coming to my devices. And then moving down into the camera cube, this is kind of one of the big features of the bag, is the fact that this offers a full-fledged kind of camera organization system. So a little bit earlier we saw that you could access this camera cube from the side of the bag if you want to get to your device really quickly, be able to take some quick shots. But the camera cube itself offers a lot of storage and organizational options. I really like how padded this is. It's super thick. And then on the inside, it has this really soft lining that's going to be great for preventing scratching on anything that you have in here. And it's also going to pair well with the dividers that Brevity includes with their bag that allow you to configure this cube to meet your needs. So depending on the different camera gear that you carry, if you have a few lenses, or if like me, you just have a variety of accessories that you like to carry in your bag, I kind of divided this out in the way that worked the best for me, but you can take some of these out if you have a big lens. And so currently what I have in here is a slot for my DSLR that's actually right next to this side access pocket. So I leave this open here so that I can quickly grab my camera when I need to get to it, but I don't have a huge camera. I have a mirrorless camera, so that's why I had some leftover space for other items. So next to that, I just have a small slot where I threw in my GoPro Hero 3 Plus, and then above that, I just tossed in my Matador packable shower towel just because I had some leftover space, and this is something that I normally like to carry with me. And then next to that, I have a hard case where I pack my DJI Mavic Mini. And then underneath that, I was also able to fit in the remote for my drone. And so I really love the flexibility offered by this camera case here. It just offers plenty of space and protection. And then a really nice thing is that it's actually fully removable. So this is always nice to give you just that extra bit of flexibility. If you want to use this on its own without the backpack, it actually has a handle on the top, and then you can open it up from the top if you want to get to your gear from that angle. But you also have the side opening, and then you can open it flat. So just love how much flexibility this offers. You can really configure the bag to use it in the way that works best for your gear. And so now with the camera cube removed, you can see just how much space is in this main area. And this is a layout that's very similar to the Wandered Provoke 21, which we looked at on the channel. So it has kind of this separate camera cube area and then a top section. But like that bag, a really nice thing here is you can actually collapse this. This is the Velcro divider that I was mentioning a little bit earlier in the video that actually separates the two compartments out. So it's nice that you can actually take that apart and push that up so that you just have a really large main area that you can use as a normal everyday bag. And then because of the flexibility and the space offered in this compartment, it could potentially also work as a nice minimal travel option, particularly for maybe a longer weekend trip or a weekend trip. And so what I wanted to do was just toss in some of the items that I normally like to travel with. So I have my larger double-sided and compressible packing cube. You can see that that fits in there really comfortably. And then I also have my Air Dot kit, and I can just kind of toss that up near the top. And then I even have enough leftover space maybe for an extra pair of shoes. And so with those items in there, I can go ahead and close this main area up. And it still doesn't really feel like the bag is that packed out. If I want to toss in that smaller packing cube with some other clothing items, and then I can just kind of tighten this up and then securely close it up. And then I'm good to go for a trip. So just really love the flexibility offered by the fact that you can remove the camera cube and that there's so many ways to configure the bag. So just a really great job. It feels solidly built. I love all the organizational options. And if you're looking for a comfortable and versatile bag that's going to be great for carrying any camera gear or just for normal everyday or travel use, then this is going to be a great option to check out. And so to wrap up, it's been a really great experience testing out the Brevity Roamer II over the past couple of weeks. The bag has been very comfortable to wear, it has a nice build quality, I really like the overall aesthetic, and it has a great organizational layout. And so you can currently purchase this on Brevity's site starting at around $220, which is definitely a bit of an investment, but considering the features and build quality that the bag has to offer, I think it's a pretty reasonable price, and it also compares well to other similar bags in this price range. And so as I was testing this out, the first bag this made me think of was the Wandered Provoke 21 liter, which we've talked about a lot on the channel. I've always liked the versatility and the durability of that bag, particularly when I've had to carry some additional camera gear. It just offers a ton of protection and weather resistant. It's also a very comfortable bag, and I'm not super crazy about the aesthetic of that bag, particularly since the roll top. I'm just not as crazy about roll top bags, but it just offers a ton of options, particularly if you're more of a pro photographer and you carry a lot of gear, or you need to use some of the additional accessories that Wandered includes for their bag, such as a detachable waist belt or some of the compression straps that you can kind of configure all around the bag. If you need something that's just going to offer a little bit more versatility and that's going to be slightly more rugged than this, then that's going to be a great option to check out. The next bag this made me think of is the Peak Design Everyday Zip Backpack, which we looked at really recently, and that was a very sleek and modern everyday bag. It has a very solid build quality, and one of the coolest things about that bag is the kind of infinite zip that it has on both sides that allows you to access the bag from pretty much any angle. And then on top of that, it also has the really configurable, flexible dividers on the inside to really match up with whatever your camera or other EDC gear needs are. Now, particularly for me, I'm not crazy about that system. I prefer to have kind of a separate packing cube as the one that's included here with the Roamer II. And I also don't think that bag is going to be quite as comfortable as this one here. But if those things aren't as big of a concern and you're just looking for something with a little bit more of a modern and sleeker aesthetic, then that's going to be a great option to take a look at. And then the last option that I'll mention here is the Brevity Jumper, which we're going to be taking a look at in the future. And that has quickly become a very popular camera bag, and I can see why. It has an awesome and simple organizational layout. I really like its clean and minimal look. And that one's gonna be a little more lightweight than something like this. It's not as much of a pro camera bag in my opinion. It doesn't have all the different kind of configuration options and pockets, and it's just gonna be a little bit smaller and simpler, but still very effective. It's gonna offer plenty of protection for your camera and your tech. So if you're just looking for something simple that's gonna blend in really well into a city or college environments, then that's gonna be a great option to check out. With that being said, the Roamer II holds up really well against all those bags, and if you're looking for a versatile and durable camera bag that's going to offer plenty of comfort, a slick aesthetic, and a nice organizational layout, then this is going to be a great option to check out. And I'm definitely curious to hear what you guys think of the Roamer II and how it compares to some of the other great camera bags that we featured on the channel. And if there are any similar options that you think I should check out in the future, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I want to thank the company again for sending the bag for me to test out. And if you guys found this video helpful, please give us a like. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos. And thank you guys so much.